hope you have unlimited text messaging. By Miss Carr. Chapter 48, Conversation 37. How to plan a date. Anthony, do you happen to be in a country where you can use Netflix? Or should I just have Friday upload something to your computer? No, man. So, are you ready to talk to me again? It's been 4 days. I'm not mad that you called out my name while having sex with someone else. I don't think I have a right to be. Although that does explain why Miss Potts started giving me really strange looks. Anthony, I wasn't avoiding you. No, man. I wish you could see me glaring at you right now. Anthony, unfortunately Skype is not secured. There was an incident that took a while to deal with. It was on the news. No, man. The Avengers were not called out. Anthony, congressional hearing with Senator Hateful. Allegedly, I've been colluding with unregistered enhanced individuals. No, man. Which is true. Anthony, they were not talking about you or even Yo-Yo for that matter, because technically I am authorized to talk to you and Yo-Yo is registered, even though she thinks the Accords are absolute bullshit. She wants to help people, and signed anyway. No, man. Queens? Anthony, yes. She thinks that he's inhuman, but he's not. Although we are never going to tell the senator that. No, man. How did he get his powers? Anthony, I can't tell you mostly because I only know that it doesn't involve fish oil. It's fine. Senator Hateful is probably pissed off that you can't pin anything on me because Queens is under 18 and therefore not under jurisdiction of the Accords. I don't want to talk about it, ever. I really would like to spend less time in D.C. No, man. I'm sure it will get better eventually. Anthony, not with the new senator that hates me because apparently I'm personally responsible for her mother dying during the Battle of New York. I know that rage. I understand that rage. That rage almost led to a giant fuck-up in Siberia. No, man. Points. Anthony, she also did not like my suggestion of her going to therapy. No, man. Tony! Anthony, it was a good suggestion. Hate like that will get you killed eventually. I only survived Siberia by your grace. No, man. Not the point! Anthony, right now I just want to cut my brain off for a few hours and trade snarky comments with you about whatever movie we're watching together. No, man. Is that why you want to know if Netflix works here? Anthony, of course we should do a movie night the best way we can. What movies or even TV shows are still on your pop culture list? No, man. I haven't got to Doctor Who yet. Anthony, because there's months worth of content there. Dr. Fitz and Dr. Simmons are kind of obsessed with the show. The next time I am forced to be at the playground, I'll ask them to make you a starter list. If I stay well behaved, it will probably be a while before I get back there. Unless Senator Hateful has another mood swing. No, man. I finally watched most of the Star Wars movies. Anthony, without me! I'm hurt. No, man. Well, there wasn't a lot to do the first few days of hiding out once we got to where we needed to be. Anthony, not until you got your new costume anyway. No, man. You can still watch episode 1 with me. For some reason, we skipped that. Actually, Clint had us start with episode 4 and 5. Then we watched 2 and 3. Before going to episode 6 and 7. Anthony, honestly, that's the best way for a newbie to watch everything. Because you can still get the Luke, I am your father punch. Also, I love you, but no to episode 1. I don't completely despise the prequels, but you can cover all the major plot points by watching the Weird Al music video parody, which is more fun. Now, man, I was hoping to find an exclamation on why one of the Jedi looks exactly like my former boss. Anthony, obviously Pulp Fiction needs to be added to the list, along with A Time to Kill, Unbreakable, and Snakes on a Plane just because. No, man, I was joking. Pulp Fiction was on the list, but Sam said that Tarantino is overrated, and a couple words I can't repeat, so I haven't watched it. Anthony, that actor is one of the busiest guys in modern show business. Personally, I think the guy is really an LMD that Batch is planted to keep everyone off his trail. No, man. What is an LMD? Anthony, it was a program that Chill created to make lifelike android copies of agents to send out as cannon fodder. Allegedly, they never perfected it, but you never know. Your old boss was a professional liar. No, man. Thank God. Could you imagine what Hyrule would do with something like that? Anthony, all bad things. Which we are not talking about because this is a work, Hydra, Siberia issues free zone for the rest of the night. No, man. Agreed. Anthony,
Since I mentioned Weird Al earlier, is UHF on your list? It's a weird cult classic from the 80s. Nomad, I've already seen it. Clint enjoys classics from the 80s. We've also watched The Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, and 16 Candles. I like 16 Candles the best, except for the Asian stereotyping. That was awful. Anthony, don't forget about the possibly having sex with someone who drunk to consent. By the way, that's now considered sexual assault. Well, at least he's making sure you see all the good stuff from the 80s. Princess Bride, Coming to America. Nomad, I've seen both. We had a lot of movie nights after you left, but before things fell apart. You kind of remind me of Prince Akeem sometimes. Anthony, well, the king reminds me of Howard. What about Weird Science? Nomad, seen it. One of the characters kind of looks a lot like you. Well, like pictures of you from your MIT years. Anthony, because I have a thespian double, it's almost enough to make me think Howard had an illegitimate love child before he married Maria and had me. Nomad, your father did have an interesting reputation, so it is a possibility. Anthony, I agree, but not in this case. We were in rehab together once and played a lot of fun drinks on the staff. I'm hotter, of course. Nomad, much hotter. Anthony, my ego thanks you. What about Tropical Thunder? I think it's a good option if you want to stare at somebody that kind of looks like me. Nomad, I've already seen it along with the Sherlock movies that he was in. Anthony, what about Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Charlie Bartlett, or Chaplin? Nomad, I've seen them. I even watched the Ally McBeal season. Anthony, is there something you want to tell me? Nomad, Wanda really likes that show. Anthony, is that your final answer, Sugar Bear? Nomad, maybe I had a bit of a crush on you earlier than I thought. Anthony, I can see that. You know, you have a thespian lookalike too, which is probably the only reason why I've seen The Nanny Diaries twice. Is Snowpiercer on your list? Nomad, the French comic book that it's based on is. Anthony, I have the movie, but it's not date appropriate and I really want to not think about upending apocalypses. But I'll have Friday put it on your computer anyway. Nomad, that would be good. Anthony, what about not another teen movie? Although I'm a little afraid to expose you to too much parody when you're still getting your pop culture sea legs. Nomad, actually, Rudy had me watch it. How's he doing being director? Anthony, stressed and probably cursing my name in his sleep. Although he was able to have Mr. Patriotism take care of Congress. It made me stuck up break, but Jeffrey does enjoy going against Senator Hateful. Nomad, that's good. I haven't got through all the Star Trek stuff yet. Anthony, because there's 23 days worth of material there. Nomad, I'm mostly sticking to the movies. Anthony, which movies haven't you seen yet? Nomad, most of the odd number ones until you get to the new movies. I've seen all of those, except the new one that just came out. I haven't exactly had time to get to a movie theater. Also, I've seen Galaxy Quest. Anthony, Clint's influence again. Nomad, Bruce, before he left. Anthony, where was I during these clandestine movie nights? Nomad, mainlining coffee in your lab. At least that was what we were told. Anthony, that sounds about right. I will figure out how to expedite you a copy of Star Trek Beyond for a future movie night, unless you don't like the alternate continuity. Nomad, I like it just fine. Maybe because I'm not completely attached to the old versions, because I was frozen when they came out. I've only watched half of the TOS episodes, and have even gotten to the newer stuff. Anthony, or maybe you're better at letting go of the past than you think you are. Things change, even interpretations of classic characters. It's necessary to adapt to contemporary society. Nomad, although, is Commander Spock dating both Lieutenant Uhura and Captain Kirk in the new timeline? It kinda seems that way. I was under the impression that polyamorous relationships were only slightly more accepted now. Anthony, I'm glad you see it. Maybe they're hoping that things will be better in the future. Star Trek is supposed to be about the hope that we can transcend our own prejudice and become better. That we can find peace amongst ourselves and appreciate the differences of others. I legitimately think that they're going for a one true threesome 99% of the time. But most people don't see it because the big damn hero usually has to be straight. Nomad, we are not. Anthony, but we're not out. At least you're not. This is another reason why I'm mad, because Rhodey said no to being my date next week. Nomad, so you decided to bring a date? Anthony, yes, but the search is going badly. I'm desperate enough to go to Jane for ideas. Nomad, that's not good. Anthony, did I mention that Senator Hateful is going to be there? Nomad, so basically, you need a date to keep you away from her at all times. Anthony, yes. It's enough to make me sad that I have no idea what country Natasha is in. Nomad, well, at least that will keep you distracted from worrying about your ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend. Anthony, your ex is also going to be there. Nomad, is May going to be there as your security? Anthony, I hope not. Your political pundit ex-boyfriend will be there. His poor unsuspecting wife is the director of the charity. I don't know how a woman like her ended up with such a bastard. Nomad, I'm sorry. Anthony, it's okay. I'm used to dealing with assholes. I'm just sad that our virtual date is not going the way I hoped it would. We can't even figure out a movie. Nomad, yes we did. We will watch Star Trek Beyond together as soon as you get me a copy. In the meantime, you can keep telling me about your crush on my acting double. Anthony, you are hotter, especially when you're wearing a shirt 2 sizes too small. Although it might be a little while on the movie because Paramount is pissed at me. Disney now has the right to do a Tony Stark and possibly eventually an Avengers movie. Nomad, will your double be playing you in the movie? Anthony, it was in the contract. Anthony, okay, how about for a first date, I will just text you snarky things from the charity ball Friday. That way we can hang out and I can keep my sanity intact. Nomad, it's a date. Anthony, now I just have to find a real one. Nomad, you will. Anthony, I hope you're right, Money Bear.